Thank you, Sarah. Moving on to a slightly different topic, which is about ICT within the system and how it will perhaps be needed to support your programme. It's welcome that the MOJ recognises the need for good performance data and sharing of timely data, both in the interest of good justice disposals decisions, as well as feedback on performance of providers. The MOJ hasn't had a good history in developing ICT systems and rolling them out on time and to budget. What progress has NOMS made in developing the national case management and risk assessment systems? And will existing case management systems be tied in to the Justice Data Lab?
You're absolutely right. This was a very early request from me when we started this process 3 or 4 months ago, to say, right, I want to make sure we've got a proper IT project plan in place, because clearly the ability of our systems to underpin a payment by results system is fundamental to making it happen. The situation is that the National DLIA system, case management system, is already operational in 1 or 2 trusts, will be nationwide by the autumn. And I'm comfortable that that gives us a sufficient period beyond that into 2014 before we're actually getting towards a transition to new arrangements where we've got the ability to develop any IT add-ons that we need and to make sure that that system is well bedded in. We've clearly got to have a single case management system that is available across public and private sector. I want to make sure that we have that kind of joined up system of IT. We obviously need to make sure that there are proper safeguards in place for data, but that's no different to what happens in the DWP at the moment, with contracting around the work programme and indeed previous employment programmes. There are very tight contractual requirements for providers, and indeed the DWP does quite careful audits of the security around provider systems to make sure that they are capable of protecting the kind of data that we have. So I'm well aware of the issue. We've got I'm comfortable a reasonable amount of time to do this, and the National DLIA system is already on its way now. It's not something that's kind of just starting. The new system will be in place later this year.
Okay, and just follow up with them. Do you foresee the need for changes to training arrangements or further training for probation officers or other providers? And secondly, will any of that data be available to magistrates, where some of that information about what has worked and maybe what hasn't worked could be useful in making decisions up front about disposals?
Well, on the second point, absolutely no reason at all it shouldn't. It's just designed genuinely to be open, and for the Magistrates Association and for us in working with magistrates to say, it might be helpful to understand. No, absolutely, that makes perfect sense. In terms of, what's the first point?
Do you think there'll be any need for training arrangements?
Oh, the training regime. I think 2 parts to this. One is that one of the questions we've asked in the consultation is about whether we should actually seek to further professionalise the public probation role, possibly encouraging the creation of a chartered institute. So I want to see high skills, really good risk assessment skills. What I also want to do, we will ask organisations bidding to get involved what their strategy is for people development. But what I'm also trying to do, I'm a great believer that the best mentor for a young offender is an old lad gone straight, or a former gang member who's left the gang and kind of try and encourage the young gang member to do the same. What I don't want to do is have a situation where, in order to deliver mentoring support, offender management support, in the kind of lower risk groups, that you have to have kind of a 3-year degree course, because that rather kind of removes the ability to use the old lag to do the job. So what we need, but at the same time, we need to make sure those people do get training and have to spot problems. So we will be looking at the contracting process for an understanding of how you ensure that you equip your people to spot the problems, that when you need to call up the corridor to the public protection guy and say, this is one you need to take a look at for me. How we continue to develop a very high quality specialist profession in the public protection roles, and we will be looking for ideas about the development of people and how that will happen in the bidding process.